Okay, so there's this video that's been going around from World Star that has everybody talking, the latest viral sensation. The video is called "You Look Average at Best. You're Gonna Die Alone." Dating consultant gives woman a savage response when she says she wants a six-figure man. So I found myself in several conversations about this video, and my cousin told me that I should record my own video, just sort of saying my thoughts. So I thought I'd, do it. Why not? So here's the video, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on the video.
All right, I'll tell you my advice, man, because you're not listening to me. This is why I always recommend you need therapy. Because you seem like a sweet woman, but you're not getting it.
You're being so mean.
I'm not being, don't tell me I'm being mean. I'm about to be mean. I get tired of you broads telling me I'm being mean because you cannot handle the goddamn truth. You called my show on a day that you ain't even supposed to be here. And I honored the call and sat here and tried to help you. And I'm telling me I'm being mean. Get the fuck out of my phone. Tired of y'all doing this shit.
Interesting, right? Yeah, lots of thoughts on that video. And it actually had me thinking quite a bit this morning as I ate my breakfast, my delicious omelet. I thought of 4 themes coming out of that video. The first one is, what did he get right? Because he did get something right. He got something right, particularly when he told her that she should seek therapy. She should seek therapy. As many of you know, I'm a big proponent of therapy. I think everybody should seek therapy. Based on this conversation, I would also advise, if she asked me for my advice, I wouldn't just tell her to seek therapy, because that's not the way you do that. But that is something that we should all be looking at, right? Something else that he somewhat got right was this notion. If you watch the video, he uses the word average a lot, which is really interesting that he uses that word. He's so sort of obsessed with average, which is very interesting. But when he says something to the effect of, if you're average, you're going to attract average. And there is some truth to that. The law of attraction, the laws of physics, the laws of the universe, the law is in the Bible. Everything says that you attract what you are, period. So, but that's it's more than just, he's so simple that, I hate to be judgmental, I'm really working on that. But, his box of what is average is, of what you attract, how the law of attraction is applied is so rooted in very simple thought. He talks about her being a baby mama in her mid-30s, her business as a pet groomer, the fact that she has a baby daddy. Those are sort of what his determinations are in terms of what she will attract. But, the law of attraction is much more than that. It's about how you feel about yourself on the inside, how you exude love, how you help others, how you think about humanity as a whole. When you think good, you get good. And it's much, much deeper than how you look. Although your looks and your health and all of the physical things of this reality do play a role in that. But it's not the most important part. It is a part. It's not even the most important part. That's another video for another day. But, bottom line though, if you want a leveled up version of what you're dating, then you do need to level up, period. But what that means is more than looks. The second sort of bucket that I thought of with this video is, this open source platform of like self-help videos and dating consultants, and everyone is a coach nowadays, and they have these platforms to quote unquote help people. What people need to understand is that oftentimes these are influencers who were at one point in their life, what they define as average, they were average, right? These were folks that oftentimes, in my anecdotal opinion, I have not done any research on this, but, sort of seeing the landscape of who these people are, they tend to be people that at one point really, really struggle with self-esteem issues. And now they have a platform where people are paying attention to them, which is wonderful because they oftentimes have great things to say. But as with many things in life, the ego tends to get inflated, right? And this guy sounds like he just wants his ego stroked because he was so angry at her not taking his advice. Clue number 1, if you're seeking advice from somebody and they're angry that you're not taking their advice, get advice from somebody else, because they don't care about you. They care about their opinions being validated. Right? And that's the simple stroke of the ego, right? So, his whole spiel, he kept getting angry. The clip that I showed you, he was very angry. He's yelling, he's cussing. I thought it was ironic that he tells her to seek therapy, and then not 20 seconds later, he's cursing, screaming at her, elevating his voice, being insulting. Who would pay for a consultant to talk to them that way? Nobody. Right? But that's what he considers himself, a dating consultant. If anyone should seek therapy, it sounds like, he, as everyone, should seek therapy, but he should include himself in that bucket, because it sounds like you got some self-control issues. But, you know, at the end of the day, people shouldn't be judgmental, right? Like, why is he so judgmental? You know, his box is so basic. I took some notes. He's obsessed, as I said, with the word average. Tells me that maybe you were once very, very average. You can't even really see his face because he's sitting in the dark. Okay? His thoughts are so simple-minded. She starts this video talking about how she wants a man that makes 6 figures. And he goes on and on and on about how she is not worthy of that. As if 6 figures is a hard thing to achieve. I know barbers that make 6 figures. 6 figures doesn't mean that you're an executive at Microsoft, which he used that example. This young lady said that she is a 6-figure woman. She has her own pet grooming business and has made 6 figures for the last 3 years. And he insulted that. He insulted this beautiful black small business owner and literally told her that it's not like you work at Microsoft, right? So he's very insulting. He demeans her. He literally tells her that her self-worth, and that because she has a kid and because she's quote unquote average looking, all of these things, she should only date that pool, is what he tells her. She is only worth that, right? Wow, that's dangerous. Right? That's what society tells black women all the time. And it's really scary. It's really dangerous. And I feel bad that there are people that have platforms that are literally giving people this type of advice. And I feel bad for a woman like this who probably went and cried after that video, after that encounter with this man. Right? But, you know, nonetheless, these are his opinions, and he's entitled to his opinion. He's entitled. I'm sure there are reasons, very valid reasons why he feels this way. I'm sure that if he went to therapy or if he opened up about who he is, there's probably a lot of hurt there. No doubt. We all have it. It's cool. But ladies, gentlemen, let's not seek advice from people that are hurt in that way, because it's just not going to help you. It's just not. The third thing that I thought about in watching that video is he's got so many boxes. Again, this 3D reality, he's got a lot of rules. Right? Lots of if-then statements. He tells her to rate herself, and then the sister rates herself a 5, right? She rates herself a 5 when she wakes up in the morning and a 6 when she puts her makeup on. And he goes on and on and on validating that, right? Validating this assumption that she has of herself, that she's average. He goes on and on and on, almost takes delight in telling her how she isn't good enough in terms of her looks. Interesting that she's a brown-skinned woman. Curious to know what the women look like that he dates. I have guesses. I don't know. I'm not even going to research it. I don't care that much. But generally speaking, colorism is real, right? Again, conversation for another day. But he has so many boxes. Yes, in his world, and there are people that think this way. I know that there are tons of men that feel this way. There's tons of people that feel, and I've seen all the debates and all the conversations. I'm in some sort of group text where they're talking about it. Lots of people agree with what he says. So there's a village of folks that subscribes to his thought. Perfectly fine. But I would tell, this was a 4th category, if I could counsel this lady, I would tell her, you know, that's cool if you want to think that way. If you want to consider yourself average, if you think that you're a 5 and you want to play in the box of a 5, by all means do that. However, let's talk about your intention, right? You started this conversation off by saying that you want a man that makes 6 figures. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever, although this man will have you thinking that there is something wrong with you wanting that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But, you know, you could probably do a little more soul searching on what is your real intention in dating. Nothing wrong with wanting someone that has money. Absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. But if you dig a little deeper, what you probably really want is someone with stability. And someone with stability can make 6 figures. But someone that makes 6 figures can have 6-figure debt as well. So their gross might be 6 figures, but their net is negative. That's not a winning situation. That's not stability. Someone that makes $50,000 a year, has no children, has strong credit because they don't have debt, because they've always been able to just take care of themselves and they can afford to do that. They make a living wage. That person actually has a positive net worth. They don't make 6 figures, but because you said you wanted 6 figures, you're going to attract 6 figures, which means that you might attract the person that's over leveraged. So it's kind of like the genie and the wish. You got to be careful what you ask for. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with starting with money. That's a very, that's a starting point. Start there. I'm tired, and I cuss, so whatever. I'm tired of dealing with Negroes, motherfuckers that don't have their shit together. There's nothing wrong with that. I want someone that has time for me. I don't want somebody that has to work, 15-hour shifts in order to take home a living wage. I want someone that has time for me. I want someone that's not always asking me for money. I want someone that can help me sometimes. There's nothing wrong with wanting that, ladies, young lady. But also think about the stability. Think about what you're really asking for. You're thinking about, you want the idea of a stable person. You want the idea of a provider. You want the idea of a God-fearing man, because that's what God said a man is supposed to do for a woman, right? So start there. Aim high, Willis. Start high. If you want stability, say stability. If you want a God-fearing man, say you want a God-fearing man. If you want love, say you want love. All the rest, the money, the 6 figures, that'll come. The money, the net, that's really what you want anyway. The net, it'll come, because a stable man, a God-fearing man, is not always asking his woman to bail him out all the time, because he's figured some things out in life, period, especially when you're in your 30s. So I would talk to this lady about defining her intentions. I would talk to this lady about the fact that you never say that you are a 5, sweetheart. You wake up in the morning and you a 10, because God made you. And God made us in his image, right? Is God a 5? Is God a 5? Would any of us say that God was a 5? So why are we saying that we're 5s? Don't let this man tell you who you are. Don't define yourself by his box. You define your own box, okay? And your box says that you wake up every morning, you a 10. I wake up every morning. Look, I know I'm a 10 right now. I'm like, everything's popping. But you know what? When I woke up this morning, I ain't had no makeup on. My hair was in rollers. I had my little pajamas on, and I was still a 10. You know why? Because I got God in me. I help people every day. I don't even have to try. I help people every day because I'm me. Because I'm finally walking in who I am, right? And maybe 2 years ago, I would have said I was a 7 or something like that. No. We are all 10s. It's just a matter of us believing it. It's a matter of us waking up and remembering who we are, okay? And that man hasn't remembered yet. That's all that is. I give him grace, because he just hasn't remembered yet. I pray that one day he gets the awakening so that he can finally counsel people the way God wants him to, because the man has a platform for a reason. He probably says good things on many days. It's nothing wrong. I assume he falls in this category of high value man. I could do a whole video on that too. But you know, the reality is that sounds like a man that still is healing, as we all are. So you keep healing, brother, you keep healing, sister, and we all need to realize that regardless of what this world says is worthy, we're all 10s. Don't matter how much money we got. Don't matter what kind of job we got. You a 10. It don't mean that you're supposed to get everybody. It does not mean, sis, that you're going to get a CEO. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. If you say you want a CEO, you could say that again. That's very simple. That's the equivalent of getting a genie and saying, I want $1 million, and then you get $1 million deer. Right? Be careful what you ask for. You can get a CEO, but he could be a wife beater. You can get a man that makes $100,000 a year, but he's a serial cheater. Okay? He's a liar. Be careful what you ask for. Start with God, start with love, and you'll never go wrong. And you don't have to be seeking counsel from people like this. That's really just real superficial and want their ego stroked, because they probably didn't get the love that they needed at some point in their life, and they just ain't healed yet. So 12 minutes in, that's my talk. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I kind of enjoyed recording this. If you like what I had to say, let me know. Give me a shout, and maybe I'll start doing more of these little videos. I kind of dig this, this kind of thing that I'm starting to step into in terms of people really hearing what I have to say, because I have a voice. We all have a voice. It's just a matter of how you use it. Some people use it through art. Some people use it through writing. Some people use it through leadership and business. Some people use it through hair. Okay? Some people use it through beauty. Some people use it through fitness. Everybody got a voice. It's just a matter of you remembering who you are. Remember, you a 10. We all a 10. You never let nobody think that you're not a 10. Every single time somebody asks you how you rank yourself, you always say a 10. And if they got something to say about that, that tells you something about them. Period. Y'all have a wonderful day.